Hello and welcome to week number 2 of the Odyssey 2024 Season 2 League here. And we have ourselves a matchup, 2 games between Washed Up Warriors, WUW, and Serotonin Rush. That is the loadout for today. On the broadcast, my name is Ferris. I'm here to show the world, and I'm with Claire on the desk today. And Claire, it's been a while. How are we feeling on this fine evening?
I feel really good. I'm actually so excited to watch and cast League of Legends right now. I don't think you really can grasp how excited I am to do this. And I don't know anything that's happening, but I'm excited to find out.
That you are. Yeah, see, like I was trying to grasp how excited you were, and it's tough.
It's
I couldn't
it's
do it.
there's so much. It fills so much space.
Well, let's satisfy your excitement and let's head into the draft of game number 1. If this is your first stream, we'll give a reminder that these teams are going to play each other twice. They're going to swap sides between games, and that basically is their 2 matches they play against each other for the regular season. So it's a double round robin in half the time. So that's how this is going to work here. It's not necessarily a best of 3. It's just 2 games, and you want to win them both. But if you don't, it's not really working like a best of series. But we have our bands here laid out for us. Claire, give us your long hiatus analysis of the bands. Haven't played in forever. Go.
So many. I think these all makes so much sense to me. I'm just gonna have to go based off vibe and say that these are just comfort picks for all of these players.
Yep.
I have no idea if any of these characters are meta, but I can only imagine, since we're not really targeting a specific lane unless there have been some sweeping changes to the Rift, that it's just got to be comfort changes. I can only imagine, you're going like one for each. And
I've said it better.
It's great to know I'm still on the ball.
You are still on the ball. As on the ball as one could ever be. And Kaisa will be the first lock-in for Washed Up Warriors. Now, I do know, though, from the bands, what I do know is Drubert is a Seraphine player. And on the topic of the players of each team, let's actually just quickly run through the players. We have, on the side of Washed Up Warriors, we have Juggernaut, we have Phaser, we have Perchery, we have Guilty Free Soul, and we have Sprite. And then that was going from top to support. Then for Serotonin Rush, we have Munchman, we have Dragon Lizard, we have Talia, we have Jimbo Slice, and Drubert. And I do know that Drubert is a big Seraphine player. So that is something that Washed Up Warriors, like you said, Claire, you said comfort picks. You were spot on. We're taking that away.
Yeah, and getting deeper into this draft, I have been watching a little bit. I do know that mages are pretty good in the mid lane right now. I do know a lot of people are liking to do that. Sway, potentially. I know we haven't seen Sway picked or banned, but we do see an Orianna probably going to that mid lane. Poppy most likely just going to stick into that jungle, I would assume. Could go support, but I personally am gonna doubt that one. Or top lane, I don't know. You never know.
It's a flexible pick. And
it really is.
That plays to the advantage of the Washed Up Warriors. Now, Serotonin Rush has to really think about, where is this Poppy going? And it's pretty good versus Jarvan. The Steadfast Presence can block, flag, and drag. And Jinx Lulu will be the lock-in for the Serotonin Rush bot lane. So this Poppy could go into the support role like we said, but we could also see some very aggressive supports that pair nicely with Kaisa, like Blitzcrank would be one that would be very good here. Nautilus as well, even things like Rel and Leona. And Serotonin Rush, they targeted those jungle bands. So they thought, hey, this Poppy's going to go to either the top lane or support. We're going to call Washed Up Warriors bluff. We're going to ban out those junglers. We don't care what the support counter pick might be. And that is what they've locked in for their choice. So this is what they're going to do. Let's see now what the draft will reveal to us for the Washed Up Warriors here as we have an Aurora lock-in. Tell us, Claire, as someone who hasn't played in months, what exactly does Aurora do? No, I'm just kidding.
Goes to the mid lane.
New champ for you to witness.
I'm excited. I have no idea what's happening. I know they're like pretty balanced. I think I was chilling at stat pages for them, but I mean, this isn't like competitive, like ranked ladder. This is private matches. We could have the absolute greatest Aurora player on the planet in this lobby right now, and I would have no idea. But we are going to be seeing this Garen and this Rel, so it does look like that Poppy is finding themselves into the jungle. And you were talking about it, you know, those engaged supports do fit well with this Kai'Sa, and we are seeing that in the Rel. I would have to imagine his going support could flex with the Poppy. We aren't going to see till, you know, we get onto the Rift, and we are going to see a Mordekaiser to finish off the Serotonin Rush roster here.
Pretty spicy top lane matchup with the Garen. You always love a nice Garen pick, just to spice it up your life. It feels like ever since Adam started playing this champion, everyone's realized that this champion can be good and competitive. And so that's what we're going to get. And we also do see an Aurora, which is going to be into the mid lane, I believe, for Talia. Interesting champion, has received a couple of nerfs over the last few patches, but still something that is quite valuable on the Rift. It's been played a lot at the highest level, even on patch 14.18. We're now in 14.19. There's been a lot of durability changes, but we expect to, or at least we hope to see big things from the Aurora and the Jarvan as well to lock the enemies into one spot so that the Jinx can free fire and start to get those resets to win those team fights. But the Jinx has to get through that sort of sketchy lane phase of the Kai'Sa and the Rel, as we are now onto the Rift for the first game between Serotonin Rush and Washed Up Warriors.
Yeah, you know, here we are, and we're seeing all 5 of these members for this Washed Up Warrior side, just taking into this bot side jungle, getting into this tri-bush. Could go for something a little bit sneaky here, but I mean, it seems that they're suspicious. STR, not entirely sure if they should trust this. But that ward is going to reveal so much information, going to allow so much to happen, a lot of movement throughout the Rift, especially if Munchman wants to get a little bit deeper, get a deep ward into that topside jungle. We do see Dragon Lizard going for that already, but I mean, Serotonin Rush has played this absolutely perfectly, and Washed Up Warriors has no idea.
No, they do not. I'm not sure if they spotted that ward or not that Jimbo placed down, but they were all spotted, and the rest of Serotonin Rush has made their way into the jungle, maybe looking to catch someone on the rotation here. And the most likely victim of that would be Juggernaut or Archery, who's walking towards this brush and is walking into potential danger, but uses the ball to scout it out and spot out the enemies. Now, what is Dragon Lizard and Munchman planning here? Are they planning a buff steal? They're a little bit late to go all the way back to the red buff, so they're going to have to commit to that here as we see trading in the bot side early on. But that's what you want to see from a Kai'Sa and a Rel. You have to shut down this Jinx Lulu lest they take over the game later on.
Yeah, you do not want that to happen. I mean, you got a lot of pretty tanky members, and the Jinx loves to just, you know, free fire on any single target they can, you know, get that fire rate up. And, I mean, especially with that Lulu, you can just, like, run around as fast as possible, cause a bunch of damage, and, you know, just wreak havoc, especially if Drewbert and Jimbo can get a little bit fed into this bot lane, get a fast early game, and, you know, just make their lives a little bit easier for later into the game. But I mean, I'm excited for this top lane matchup, but I mean, now's not the time to talk about that. Talia is causing some problems. Phaser,
Yeah,
what are you gonna do?
And Phaser didn't quite, well, did get the buff steal, but Talia was there to try and disrupt. And Phaser just gets out with the flash, and now Archery's on the run, does have a flash of his own, but is beating the hell out of Dragon Lizard. And now Guilty Free Soul as well with that Void Seeker trying to get involved in the play as well. So they've moved up to try and help out their squad. Is heavy trading in the top side too. Juggernaut forced to run away, and Munchman going to get the push in. And we don't get any kills for either team. Although that was very close and very sketchy on the invade there from Phaser.
Yeah, no, absolutely shocked that nothing happened. You know, got out with the buff, and, you know, I mean, not a back yet, still doing this bot side jungle. Don't want to, you know, halter that momentum. If you still got, I mean, you're playing Poppy, you are going to be alive for quite a bit of time. You got so much shielding that these monsters cannot get through. But, I mean, now we're just at a pretty even state. Yet again, quite like we just started the game. But, you know, here we are 3 minutes in and had some pretty interesting fights. And I have no idea, but that was some pretty massive poke damage. This mage, Aurora, putting, I mean, this mid matchup into a weird spot.
She's doing the damage. She does a lot of it. She, if I were to give you a quick rundown, she can jump into stealth for a short duration. She has one skill shot that she can shoot at you and then pull back. and then another sort of rectangular like skill shot. And then her ultimate is like big Camille ult that does damage that you can flash out of. But that's it for the Aurora lesson, because Munchman is in a very big trouble. The shield will keep him alive for the moment, and he has some homies here to help him out. Actually, one specific homie, and that's Dragon Lizard. But Dragon Lizard can't finish off the kill. He can only tell him to get away from his top laner and save his life. But now Dragon Lizard's gone back in with the flag, and Dragon Phaser with the heroic charge pushed him into that wall. But he's walked into a death trap here as Munchman's going to try and finish off that kill. He will. That's first blood. You look back towards the bot lane, there's just some slight trading, but the top side has gone well there for Serotonin Rush.
And Juggernaut not being able to get that trade onto Munchman, and the flash wasn't used, TP hasn't been used, all the summoners up. We saw Dragon Lizard's flash, but that was a little bit earlier. I mean, a great fight from Serotonin Rush. That's exactly what you need to see, getting that gold advantage, you know, ever so slightly, but I mean, it's going to matter quite a bit. The TP does come out for Munchman, though, using that in the top lane. I mean, it's not going to be too useful. We do see this first dragon going to be coming up in like 5 seconds, so neither team looks like they're pressuring that too much off of the spawn, but I mean, it does seem that it's in the idea of both these teams as we see Phaser pathing down towards it.
And here's Munchman hitting now onto Juggernaut. Has that red buff from the kill he got earlier, so that's definitely going to help him win the 1v1 or have the 1v1 go more in his favor. He was struggling against the Garen, but that kill might help him to stop sort of that losing situation. But here's a losing situation for Serotonin Rush thus far. They lose a little bit of their HP to the gank here from Phaser, but Dragon Lizard's here for the regank. But what more do they have in the tank? Jimbo is still very low, so they can't really progress much further. They force the opponents back, but they don't quite get anything for themselves as Talia. There you go. Did you see the stealth there, Claire? That's the little stealth jump.
I didn't see anything.
Into the veil, I think the ability's called. I should know these as a caster, but yeah, into the veil. It kind of looks like she just jumped into a little portal, went invisible. Natalia made the roam, didn't really make much happen here. And Munchman and Juggernaut are going at it. And Juggernaut had the level 6 advantage, so that's going to be a big indicator that he's going to win out that 1v1. He gets the solo kill.
Yeah, I mean, that was absolutely huge. Keeping Juggernaut, like, not back into the game, but it does, you know, keep you in a much better position, especially getting that level 6 advantage and, you know, getting that red buff off of that as well. So this lane's going to get a little bit easier for this Garen. Makes, you know, the life a little bit easier, especially since the grubs have come up. Phaser has a little bit more of an easier time to, you know, fish out those grubs, get some of that turret damage on, especially as these, you know, towers have gotten a little bit buffed, so I've heard. A little bit more tanky, but I mean, this mid matchup is two mages. Exhilarating as we see both them poke each other and the wave sometimes.
There we go. And we also have Drubert now, who's moved his way up from the bot lane to help his jungler clear away the first set of Void Grubs. Are you aware of the Void Grubs, Claire? Is this something that's
I mean, I know so much about the Void Grubs.
Well, the Void Grubs give you extra damage on towers.
Yeah.
Passively. So that's important. Serotonin Rush is going to pick that up, and that's going to be nice and big for them. Dragon hasn't been taken either. Still waiting on that Hextech Drake. A lot of times we end up getting trades, but fortunately for Serotonin Rush, that's not really going to happen right now because Phaser clearing away the Gromp inside of his jungle. So there's no response play for Washed Up Warriors right now, and Serotonin Rush feels pretty good about that. They have the 3 grubs in their pocket working towards the 6. They respawn, and the more you get, the more powerful it is, and you get little guys to help you siege those towers. And right now, Juggernaut in a bit of trouble, but he's going to walk away okay.
The Garen is very good at just being able to soak that damage and walk away. It's kind of like a red herring, you know? You think you can get the Garen, but you really can't. Dragon Lizard finding that out for themselves as this, you know, Dragon should be going down, should be going over to Washed Up Warriors as we see, you know, more dragons on the map.
Well, we've seen one less dragon on the map.
Yeah, well, that
dragon
true,
got
like,
slain.
Like a new dragon. We could see like a new one. We will see,
yeah, absolutely.
Pretty exciting.
That is pretty exciting. And the next dragon, we'll find it out. And there's more trading in the top side here. And we've kind of slowed down the pace of this game. It's been a relatively quiet game. 8 minutes in, only 2 kills for both of these teams. They're playing quite conservatively. And I would have to say, with the team that has the Jinx, that would kind of favor them a little bit in terms of the just straight up scaling. but you can't also underestimate the power, the one-shot power that Washed Up Warriors team composition has. Any type of CC can be followed up from Kaisa, and then Garen can flash on you and one-shot you. So that might be their way to combat a late game jinx.
Trubert.
We're seeing the power of that burst ability as Phaser misses out on the Keeper's Verdict here. We're going to look towards the top side because Dragon Lizard has put Juggernaut inside of the Cataclysm. Him and Munchman tag team action here. They're trying to take down the Garen, and they get him. You cursed him. You caster cursed him, Claire.
I feel so bad. I mean, I didn't need to. I didn't mean to, Juggernaut. I really thought the Garen was a little bit more powerful, but it's okay. You know, go back, get that a reset, get some items bought. This top lane is getting a little bit closer. The kills both favoring. I can't tell quite who has a gold lead. It's probably extremely close. Maybe favoring Munchman just a little bit with that extra kill and a little bit more CS. But I mean, still, Guilty Free Soul and Sprite really wanting to find this Lulu. I can tell that it's just fiending for it a little bit, and maybe with a well-placed W, this Kaisa can figure out something.
They're going to pounce here. The Flash Shattering Strike is going to miss from Sprite, and so Jimbo with the range, going to look to find the kill into Guilty Free Soul, but in comes Phaser with the flash over the wall. The Wild's Growth to try and keep Jimbo alive, and Guilty Free Soul's dove in with the Killer Instinct and used the barrier to keep himself alive, but there's the Between Worlds from Talia to take him down, and Jimbo just somehow lives through all of that chaos. Serotonin Rush is getting away with some very fortunate circumstances for themselves, and it's 3-1 for STR now.
Extremely fortunate. I mean, I'm shocked that Trooper didn't go down there, nor did Jimbo Slice. I mean, it was extremely close. That Lulu ultimate coming in pretty massive there to keep Jimbo Slice alive, and I mean, they just must have stayed a little bit too long. You know, Guilty Free Soul is going to be pretty upset at themselves for staying around and just kind of throwing away the time they could have spent farming or pressuring the other points of the map.
And so a really big play for Serotonin Rush now. They get a kill onto their mid laner, and Talia's been having a pretty rough time in terms as the CS goes in this lane. So that kill is going to very much help her out. As the Cataclysm onto Archery as well, Dragon Lizard forcing the flash from the Orianna too. Helping out this Aurora as best they can and get her back into that sort of gold, the gold area that Orianna's in with that 30 CS lead. That's definitely going to help out. And now onto that third pair of grubs. They're going to be able to pick up 6, most likely because Phaser, he's on the other side of the map, not really going to be able to contest these bad boys. And so they get the full power of the 6 grubs, Claire. It's pretty good. It's really nice as long as you can actually hit those powers. Yeah, that's right. The Void Mites.
Hell yeah. We love
here's
the
Phaser.
Guys.
Heroic Charge. And the thing is, you leave your ADC on the other side of the map to go get the Void Grubs. They're vulnerable to a dive. And Claire, that's exactly what happened to Jimbo.
That is extremely tough. Jimbo going to be a little bit sad. I mean, still, like, not doing too bad. I just did see the gold lead. It was pretty even there for the both ADCs. Right around 3,500. I guess now, you know, 4K, a 5K gold lead for this Kaisa over the Jinx. But still, I mean, being able to farm, you were talking about it earlier. This game has sped up a little bit, but if they can slow it down, this Jinx should just be able to farm, get back into the game. And this top lane is just always exciting.
That it is. And Juggernaut's still finding advantages with those trades in the top side as Talia's the target. Sprite gonna miss on the Shattering Strike, although I don't know if there would have been follow-up anyways. But applying pressure in the mid lane nonetheless. And what's coming up next soon is going to be a dragon. If we'll see either a fight here or if one team or another will decide to give it away. I think if it's one team that's going to decide to give it away, it may be Serotonin Rush. But for now, they have the priority, so that might not be the case.
They do have bot priority. This Jarvan is pathing, but I mean, everyone is finding themselves into this bot side jungle. As this dragon does come up, the vision from both these teams getting on top of there, but I mean, still, it's pretty even actually. Both this wave state and this bot lane isn't really favoring anyone enough that it's super safe to start this dragon, and like the vision is not entirely gonna help them out too much. It is a scuttle though, the scuttle vision, but yeah, that's
Pulls him in and puts him into the Death Realm, so Juggernaut and Munchman can have a little 1v1 of their own in the middle of this, and it looks like Munchman's actually winning this one out very hard and gets that final blow, but the rest of the team there are not quite there to help him out on command. There's the Between Worlds, there's the Super Mega Death Rocket though. This will be all Serotonin Rush now. Double kill for Jimbo Slice. Onto Archery they go. No flash available to get out of this one. The Jinx will use the Zap. Can't quite get in range for the last auto attack. Does have the flash, but actually didn't have the flash. I saw that little time ticking there. Unlucky. Couldn't quite get that fourth kill, or that last kill for the ace, but Serotonin Rush going to be more than happy with this situation.
Yeah, especially winning that team fight, getting this dragon, getting that Jinx a little bit more fed, and that Jinx Lulu combination is going to be, you know, pretty brutal to deal with later into this game. And it's going to be pretty difficult to zone them away. I mean, that Garen can maybe, you know, with the right plays can do it, so that can have Poppy just with that ultimate, but I mean, still, it's going to be quite a target for them to focus on. And Talia needing to escape. I did see, yeah, I did see, you know, they went into the Veil or something there, I think.
Yeah, I said into the Veil earlier. I think it's across the Veil.
And there was something with the Veil for sure.
Worlds. Yeah, you're like kind of like slipping into like a veil of invisibility, and no one can see you. I think that's kind of what it's all about. I don't know the Aurora lore though. I don't know what Aurora does. Like what kind of magic this is. Like what was that? I don't know what that is, but
Arcane perhaps.
Probably. There's a lot of arcane stuff that people use. I don't know. I don't even know what faction she's from. Like, is she like from? Oh, Super Mega Death Rocket. That was really close. We're talking about a whole lot of lore stuff. Is Talia's flashing in? Unfortunately, missing abilities. That Shockwave will finish her off, but we can respect the attempt at the big play here. And we're seeing another big play in the top side. We're seeing big plays in the bot side. Guilty Free Soul. 2v1. Can't quite get out of this one, my friend. That's a lot of range that Jimbo Slice has, but hold on a second. Killer Instinct, maybe he is able to get out of this one. No, in fact, it will be the Lulu to finish him off, and on our screen there, it will be Dragon Lizard going down as well. So across the map, it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Washed Up Warriors.
Washed Up Warriors getting, you know, 1-for-1, not entirely what they want to see, but I mean, this is going to be huge for this bot side. That turret does go down. Jimbo Slice and Drewberg getting a little bit more gold into their pockets. Going to be seen on this board, but it's not really like Washed Up Warriors can do too much. The gold lead is slowly expanding. FaZe are trying to minimalize that as they're finding themselves into the jungle, just stealing all of Dragon Lizard's camps, but I don't really think that they are bothered too much. What can they really do about this, though? This mid presence is absolutely crazy. FaZe are trying to get in. A flash goes through.
And this is going to be Keeper's verdict to knock him up, but not a whole lot got done there. Jimbo just kind of shoots some rockets at him and says, "Get out of my face, man. What the hell was that?" And they're going to summon up the Rift Herald now, and they're going to turn it around. Can they get the charge off? It looks like they can, but here comes Sprite. Shattering Strike will stun a few members up, but there's no real follow-up here. They're going to take down the tower. Jinx is going to get a reset, and there's the right time for Dragon Lizard to engage Between Worlds as well from Talia. Is great to lock them in. And here comes Juggernaut with the teleport. Wild Growth used to try and keep Jimbo Slice alive, and Juggernaut can't do the damage to finish off the kill. Talia gets a double, and Serotonin Rush are running through the mid lane. Look at all those Void Mites.
They're just out there doing their best, just like how Serotonin rushes. We were on almost an absolute team wipe there, but it's just so much damage, especially now that this Jinx has built Kraken Slayer. We saw the TP from the Garen, but you were alive for like 8 seconds as you just got whittled down by the entire Serotonin Rush team, and that is absolutely brutal. More towers going down, 3 in the past like minute and a half. This is absolutely brutal, and Serotonin Rush running away with this game now.
You could say maybe, Claire, they're rushing away with this game. Is that something you might say?
Rushing to the end of the game so they can play their second game.
Okay, yeah, speed running maybe. The 18 minutes, they got the Jinx, 3 kills now. Kraken Slayer completed, BF Sword in the inventory as well, maybe working towards an Infinity Edge after the Kraken Slayer. A lot of things were changed in 14.19, but I don't know if this match was actually played on 14.19 or not. So that may not be relevant, but the Infinity Edge is done on the Jinx regardless. A powerful item no matter what patch you're playing on. So this is going to be a very good thing for Serotonin Rush, and all they really have to do is protect Jimbo like they did in that last fight, and everything's going to go well for them in this game.
I think everything is going well for everyone on the Rift. Well, not everyone. Washed Up Warriors is in a pretty precarious position at the moment, but I'm sure that it can all turn around, and we still have got quite a bit of league to play. This dragon is going to be coming up though quite soon, so we need to keep a look on that. About 20 seconds. This is going to be an ocean dragon, and ocean soul is to be played for. You see Garen on that bot side just trying to, make some presence. But I do think this dragon is just going to be rushed down by the Serotonin Rush team, as all, these 4 members of Washed Up Warriors are just hanging out on this top side. But Juggernaut, you gotta watch out.
In the between worlds, he is going to use the flash. I don't think this is going to be enough to get you away. They're going to use the Cataclysm on him and take him down, but the response play is going to be the tier 3 in the top side. But that's going to be a kill plus a dragon for a tier 3 tower. And Munchman, smart enough, got away from that and knew there would be a lot of people there on the top side that were going to be grouped up and ready to take him down if he was out of position. Now, Jimbo and Drubert, this tag team in the bot side, they know there's lots of people top side, so they just take this inhibitor tower because they know it's only archery here to defend. And so nice heads up play there from the Serotonin Rush bot lane, and also nice on Munchman there to cancel the backs and be as annoying as possible up there.
Yeah, no, just great play throughout the Rift here for the Serotonin Rush team, getting all of their objectives, really losing minimal things. I think that top tower went down during the whole fiasco, but I mean, they gained so much more from it than they lost. They're absolutely going to take that trade. We do see the Baron, coming up 20 seconds ago, but I don't think Serotonin Rush is strong enough, at least while there's 5 members from Washed Up Warriors on the Rift still. And, it's just them getting back onto the Rift, buying their items. They know that they're so far ahead, and there's just no point to rush into a team fight that they could potentially lose, as there's just no objectives for them to really fight for.
No, that there isn't. There is the Baron alive, but like you said, unless you find a pick beforehand, it's unlikely that they'll just run straight for that. But Phaser looks like he's running straight for Jimbo. But Jimbo's holding his ground. Look at them. They're hovering him like sharks right now. They're circling. They see the prey, but there's a big menacing... Okay, I made the reference about sharks. I don't know what's big and menacing that a shark would be afraid of. But something's there that's protecting him, and that's the tower.
A bigger shark.
A bigger shark. A megalodon, if we were in prehistoric
Oh
times.
my goodness. They could still be out there. We don't know.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. We don't know. But what we do know is that Jimbo is quite strong, and that Serotonin Rush is waiting for their opportunity now around this Baron pit. They're setting up vision to take this one, and maybe they just want to find that pick first. And Munchman's going hard, pushing the towers, trying to force some type of play here. He's trying to get Juggernaut to fight him, and he's succeeding.
Yeah, I just don't know if that's really a fight you want to take, though, Munchman. I mean, not under the tower, at least, and that seems to be where Juggernaut is finding the most joy in that lane. But, I mean, still, this top side is being very contested over both these two teams, seeing a lot of players. And Dragon Lizard wants to find our
forcing the flash.
And
Between Worlds, Super Mega Deathrock Cataclysm. They just threw everything, including the kitchen sink at archery there. But they just got a flash, and archery's out. So that's important, but Sprite finds a massive engage. Not a lot of follow-up right now. He's kind of by himself. This is not looking good for the Rel, but fortunately the Keeper's verdict will send Jimbo Slice packing and keep the Washed Up Warrior support alive. They're going to be sent home packing here. Going to have to recall and get that HP back up. But it doesn't seem like Serotonin Rush wants to start the Baron, even off of that.
Yeah, it seems they're still looking for a fight. All of these members is so grouped up. Not a lot of things happening. Some waves being crashed, some XP being lost, but I mean, they still have a plan. And I think that they're trying to bait to do the Baron, and Juggernaut's going right into it. You're immediately going to go down, right? And yeah,
yes, he is.
No
More than
way
enough damage. And now they're probably going to start the Baron here. Now, Phaser's still alive. That's the guy with Smite here from the side of Washed Up Warriors. So they need to find a way into this pit before they burn it down, and they're not even going to try.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're going for it. They are going, though, into this bot side jungle. Maybe trying to get that tier 2 bot side, maybe at mid, but I mean, you got to do that right now. These recalls are going to be coming through. They're going to be stepping back into all of these lanes, and you need to do something. You need to recoup some of your losses, but I'm not entirely sure that they can find anything. We do see the bounties, though, going up for Washed Up Warriors to hopefully at some point grab and make this game maybe a little bit closer. But as it looks now, without any major mistakes, it seems Serotonin Rush is just ready to run away with this game.
10,000 gold on the Jinx. The
That's a
23-minute
lot.
mark. That's a lot. It's pretty nice. The richest person in the entire game from what I saw there. And 300 gold bounty on them. So there's still, like you said, Claire, some things that can work out in favor of Washed Up Warriors if they can find those kills, if they can somehow start to claim some objectives. They would need a big engage. They need lots of follow-up. They found some big engages. They just haven't really been able to follow up and take out the key targets. And so that's what they need to hope for here in this game if they want to keep their chances alive. Right now, it's not looking too good, but they're still in pretty well right now. And the Baron was just acquired here, so we need to see something big come out of Serotonin Rush to really make this worthwhile.
We really do. I mean, it's like they do have Baron. They have the massive buff. They can absolutely do a lot off of this. We do see Dragon coming up 3 seconds. They're just getting this lane prio so they can feel a little bit safer about it. We see Sprite trying to make a play, but
Is there
it's a bit scary.
go in with the heroic charge? The Keeper's Verdict onto Jimbo is really good, but that was an excellent wild growth to buy him some space. His health is dropping. His health is gone. There's the shutdown. It's 2 kills in favor of Washed Up Warriors, and they're winning this fight very excellently. They got the follow-up they needed, and that's a 3-for-0. And they're going to rush down the mid lane now as Munchman tries to salvage something here in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, that was absolutely a massive fight from Washed Up Warriors. Getting that and should pretty easily get this dragon here. Munchman trying to find some value into this top lane off of that split push, but it seems that Archery is there and ready just to stop that from happening. Pretty great wave clear there on the Orianna, and they're just getting a little bit more, getting this mid turret, getting those bounties, finding themselves back into this game. It's only a 4k gold deficit at 25 minutes. The Dragons are even. They have a little bit worse split push, not having, or, you know, just tower damage at all without having those grubs. But, I mean, I think they're still back into this game. Yeah, I think Munchman, Talia still does have that Baron buff. But, I mean, for how much longer? Like, couple seconds, 30 seconds maybe?
Around that, and then their Baron power play will be over. Then they have to crack this base on their own with no buffs to help them out. Well, they have cracked the base, but they need an inhibitor down to really start to unlock that sieging power that they want. The last fight didn't go too well for them, and that really showed us what the power of Washed Up Warriors composition can be, which is finding those quick picks and one-shotting those key targets. And now it's going to be up to Serotonin Rush to prevent that from happening again. And they're having a really hard time sieging here, Claire. They need to come up with a plan here to be able to break into the base, find some type of engage they want, some type of fight to break this open. And this might be the fight right here. His heroic charge, though, will stop everything that Dragon Lizard wanted, and he'll be sent to the Death Realm immediately as Jimbo Slice is now caught up in a massive Magnet Storm from Sprite, and this is huge for Washed Up Warriors. A triple kill for Guilty Free Soul, and the next target is Drewbert, who's running for his life, going to use the flash. The Void Seeker will miss. No Killer Instinct available for Guilty, and so Drewbert will walk away with his life, but it's another 3-for-0.
Absolutely massive plays for Washed Up Warriors to get back into this game, and they're only going to do more. Can Sprite cancel this back? And something happened? No, it was extremely close, but just barely getting out of there is Drewbert. And I mean, they're absolutely owning this game here. They're absolutely causing such a ruckus. They're putting so much pressure onto these turrets, and I mean, they have the absolute right to do so. It's only got like a 1.2k gold deficit. They're clearing this jungle. They're causing too many issues for Serotonin Rush to really deal with at the moment. A reset's going to come through, and we have an extremely close game.
It's been a full swing in gold. Now it's basically Washed Up Warriors who have come right back, and a lot of this team fight success that they found has come from this Poppy. Phaser's Poppy was the one that found that initial stun onto Dragon Lizard, who tried to engage with Flag and Drag, and the one that started off the fight prior to that as well. So been a big part about the success for Washed Up Warriors here and is proving to be quite the valuable pick. Now, we still have a close game. The momentum right now is in favor of Washed Up Warriors, but there's still lots of power here on the Serotonin Rush side. So we have ourselves a game that's now very close, but still could go either way. It's not necessarily a done deal for any team just yet. It's about as close as it gets. Well, 2K lead in favor of Serotonin Rush, but the real problem for them has been they can't really find a good way to siege.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. I mean, they constantly want to go for these team fights,
Oh,
but I mean, a great engage.
Cataclysm, the
Oh,
Flash, the Shockwave between worlds. There's just too many abilities to trap her in, Claire. They can't get out, and there's the pick. The
that is
phaser.
absolutely
Ooh, very close.
huge. I mean, great stuff out of Phaser. Trying to make a play. You know you have to, as this Baron's coming up in a second. Dragon's in a minute and 16. This is the time that Serotonin Rush needs to get this momentum into their favor again. They need to slow down Washed Up Warriors before these neutral objectives come into play, and I think they've done just that. Taking out this mid lane. I mean, you can go for this Baron. It's still a bit tricky. Poppy's got ult. Poppy's got this smite in hand, but it does seem that they want to go for it.
Yes, they do. Phaser is here. Going to use that steadfast presence, but no engage will come. They're going to back right off. This is an AP Kaisa, so those Void Seekers definitely do hurt. There's the Keeper's Verdict charge. It's going to knock 2 away from the pit. Here is Munchman, who's tanking in the front line for the Serotonin Rush team. Archery is now alive, does have Unleashed Teleport available. Will they use it? They're walking for the moment. Zap does not land onto Sprite. They're running for the hills. They're waiting for their mid laner to arrive to this play. Neither team gets the Baron.
Another team is just, you know, some poke went through, but I mean, still, some neutral objectives still up to her grabs. A play needs to happen. It's a lot of standing around for both these teams. You can tell they're a little bit antsy. They want to make something, but you're splitting. I mean, this could be a great engage here for Serotonin Rush.
Thinking about it, he's going to go with the Flag and Drag now, trying to hit onto Juggernaut. He's been stunned up. Good damage from Guilty Free Soul to push him back. Now it's Munchman pushing up for the moment. Jimbo Slice firing the rockets away. Juggernaut forced to use the flash, but Sprite's been caught up in the Flame Choppers. In goes Dragon Lizard. The Cataclysm will lock 3. The Between Worlds is good as well. It's a double kill for Talia's Aurora. Guilty Free Soul is going to try and get out, but he's stuck in the Death Realm with no one there to help him. Archery here on the flank is too late to the party. It's still 2 versus 1. He's going to use the Shockwave to pull Dragon Lizard back as Phaser goes 1v1 with Talia here in the bot lane. And this is a close one. The smite goes down. Talia waiting for cooldown is going to try and land that pullback on the Q. Is going to do so. Going to proc the electrocute as well. This should just be the kill in the fight. The wild growth used there just to be sure, thanks to Drewbert. And that will be the fight win that Serotonin Rush needed.
Yeah, I mean, Talia, for some reason, I don't know if it's just because I don't know Aurora, but I mean, she's been having an absolute monster game. 9 kills, that's half of Serotonin Rush's total kills, but I just have not been able to find out where those kills have been coming from. I think it's, you know, just kind of that mage moment where they just kill from across the screen, and I'm like, oh, cool. It was whoever was closest got the kill. But no, the Baron Nashor goes down. I mean, Serotonin Rush is looking pretty back into this game, if not into the driver's seat of this game with that last team fight, and I just think it, you know, they struggled a little bit. Washed Up Warriors, you know, they split. We did see that Orianna kind of trailing, maybe looking for a flank angle, but they could never catch up to the fight fast enough, and just a great engage out of Dragon Lizard to speed that fight up and, you know, bring them into this position.
And they find success, does Serotonin Rush, when they are the ones that are chasing their opponents. Washed Up Warriors want to engage. They don't want to be engaged on. They don't want to be running away. And so the fights that Washed Up Warriors have won were the ones where they got the first engage. In that fight, it was Serotonin Rush actually chasing them out of the Baron Pit down towards the river and the jungle. And that's free reign for Jimbo Slice to hit with the rockets and catch Sprite, who wants to go in with Flame Chompers, pick him off, get a reset. That's the formula for success here. But the next thing is, Claire, and I've said it a bunch of times, is they have the Baron now again. Can they get something with this Baron? Can they get some towers and some inhibitors?
I mean, I sure hope so. We do see a Phaser in the top lane, just trying to clear some waves, which is not really the character. I wouldn't think Poppy to do so. I mean, this inhibitor is going to go down. We are seeing some value being gotten out of this Serotonin Rush team, and yeah, this just seems like a little bit too much. The wave clear is not going to be there. We see Garen on that bot side, but I mean in that bot lane, but we see an ult come through. It's just not going to be enough. It seems Washed Up Warriors knows it. They're giving up quite a bit. They don't want to feed any lives for this, and they just want their Garen to, see if you can free farm, see if you can get something back, see if you can get an inhibitor. It's not going to go down, but it's something, but you still lost so much for it.
Serotonin Rush, they've cracked the base. They were successful in taking down 2 inhibitors. Now the last place they have to crack open is the bot lane. So I'm curious to see how they're going to set themselves up around the map. Are they just going to send 5 down this lane? Are they going to put Munchman in the top lane to push in those super minions? It doesn't look like it since he's here with Talia pushing this wave. They might just send everyone. They might get Jimbo Slice to clear out this mid wave and then bring everyone there for the final siege. And if they can get their mid and top waves shoved in, then it's going to be very difficult for Washed Up Warriors to defend when they're being pulled into different lanes because of the super minion power. As Dragon Lizard's found Sprite, can use the crash down to get out of the Cataclysm, and Dragon Lizard auto attacks that Blast Cone. And that's the end of that play. So big ultimate used there from the side of Serotonin Rush.
Yeah, it does seem that it's going to be up at least in time for Dragon, which is, what you need is kind of where you want to fight around. But I do like seeing this out of Serotonin Rush. Look at that Garen again, split pushing and getting some value. A bounty is up, so it's going to give them some gold. It's still, pretty far down, but, I mean, you got to watch out. Washed Up Warriors, you just kind of have to give this. You really can't fight. You really don't want to be down, especially in time to set up something for Dragon, but I do like this. I like that they're pushing in this wave. I like that they're not giving Washed Up Warriors any space here. Besides, I mean, you see Munchman now, the recall has gone through, the fight is going to happen, it's going down, but I mean, these 2 top laners just fighting it out, and it's not looking great for Juggernaut.
Death Realm has been used, and this is a massive kill for Munchman now, 5 versus 4, but there goes Phaser with the flash. He's going to catch Drubert here with the heroic charge, but Talia's there to save the day with the Between Worlds, sacrifices her life, but Jimbo Slice just needs 1 reset, and this game might just be over. Into the stasis goes Guilty Free Soul, and he actually saves himself with his own Killer Instinct. Pop goes the Weasel, that's the Jinx gone, that's the burst potential there, but they're just too low, and the rest of the Serotonin Rush squad is going to run them down and probably win this game. It's only Sprite that's alive, and onto the Nexus Towers they go. The Cataclysm to finish it off. It's actually Drubert to get the final kill credit on the Lulu, and that will be game 1 going to Serotonin Rush.
Serotonin Rush, I mean, an extremely close match. Both these teams absolutely playing, having their big moments there, but Serotonin Rush is being able to snap back into form there in the last, 8-10 minutes of the game and bring this one home.
That they did. So we have a 1-0 score. Now Serotonin Rush gets their 2nd win of the season. They've started 1-1. Actually, both of these teams started 1-1. So coming up after a short break, we will bring you game number 2. And now Washed Up Warriors, who are currently sitting at 1-2 as of this VOD point, are going to try and even out their score and bring themselves to 2-2, where Serotonin Rush are going to try and bring themselves into a very comfortable spot after week 2 if they can pick up a win here in game 2. So don't go anywhere. We'll bring that to you right after this.